Hey, there we are, folks. Welcome to another episode of The Challenge here with, I'm going to say Vaxpreneur, but we know that we're doing the how to use WordPress challenge, the 5-day challenge spread out over 5 weeks. We're hosting this on challengeconnection.com. And basically, this was hey, you might not have even thought about running your own business. You might have thought, hey, I'm going to work this career path forever, right? That could have been the case. But now you're sitting there and you're going, oh boy, I got to do something. I got to come up with some kind of a way that I'm going to generate income. People always use this term passive income. I always get a kick out of people saying passive income, because realistically, I have subscription examples and membership examples and things that other experts would classify as, passive income, because they say it like, well, you do it once and it makes money forever. But realistically, it takes maintenance and it takes attention and it takes time. And so the idea that something would be plug and play and forget it, I don't believe in that per se. But a lot of folks are looking at this opportunity online and saying, I want to be a part of this. I don't want to miss out on this. I want to have a way to offer subscriptions and memberships and content and downloads. And so that's what this is about. So last week, we kind of had to talk about, what is WordPress? In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our website here that we've been working on. And that is WordPress, right? WordPress.challengeconnection.com, right? And so as we pull up that site and we start to get into it, you're going to see that we had 5 different sessions. And they're going to be all on Mondays. We already had the first session, right? So it's like, what is this WordPress thing all about? And then we have the next session. So let me get into that real quick. Let's see where we're at. Getting started. Boom. There we go. Perfect. All right. And then we've got this next section that we're diving into. And I thought, what a great example. In fact, maybe I should just do a shared screen here real quick, and we'll go back to the very beginning of this. And here we go, shared screen. Okay. Yeah, there you go. You should be seeing the use WordPress to build your project or your mission. And, we said you could get started here. You can learn more about the program here. It says quick, simple, you own it and it grows with you. We talked about that last week. We said, hey, you could look at using Udemy, Kajabi, Shopify. There's all these Samcart. There's all of these ways to put some kind of content online. Now, I focus on membership and learning websites. And so a lot of the terminology that comes out of my mouth just from habit will be based around memberships or subscriptions or online courses, things like that. But realistically, what I wanted people to gather from this exercise, from this 5-day challenge, is having a representation of your idea or your business or your organization online. So whether that be, like an online business card that's kind of static, or whether that be something that's more dynamic, that might, have a calendar of events, or a newsletter, or a blog, right? A blog so you can add content to it, kind of like a first in, first out file, except it's like a last in, first out kind of thing, right? Because a blog, usually you see the last article published first, right? And then you can go, previous post, previous post, previous post. Now, blogging's been around forever. So sometimes people will avoid the term blogging because they think blogging is like some kind of played out term. And they'll just say, oh, have you seen our latest post, right? Instead of saying, have you seen our latest blog? They'll say, oh, have you seen our latest post? Or have you seen our latest article that we published? But when people are saying that, basically what they're doing is they're adding terminology to an existing blog structure, right? And so just so I'm more clear, with WordPress, we have the ability, and I'm talking at the camera when you guys are looking at a shared screen, I apologize, but we have the ability to have static pages like what you see here, what I'm scrolling through. This is a static page, okay? And then if I were to add an article or a blog post, then it would just go into a separate, more dynamic page where the content changes, right? I'll give you an idea of kind of like what a blog looks like. Let's take a look at the Mañana No Mas home site, okay? So we go to mañananomas.com, and let me turn that phone over so it stops dinging in the microphone. And here we can see, I've got the static pages. I've got a home page. I have a services page. I have a contact page. The Academy is where I put all my online courses. Hiring Kurt to speak. That's another static page. Video diaries. So this is interesting. You got to be kidding me. I didn't ask Google for anything. It's just talking to me. Okay, there we go. And so if we take a look at this video diary, this is the last entrance that I have, and then previous, like I was saying, yes. And then for blogs, it says check out our blog too. This gives you an idea of what a blog kind of looks like. Now, everyone's seen these before, but I want to make sure that you kind of understand what's really happening here, right? So each one of these is a different article, which becomes its own page in the site. But when I add a blog, when I add an article or a post, it gets added in here. So it becomes a last in, first out kind of display. So the last article that I published was this one, 5 things extremely fulfilled people do that you don't. And so this would be, let's click on that. And then this opens up into its own page, right? And so this is something that went out with the value added email this morning. All right. So it kind of gives you an idea of what a site can do. If I were to show you the Powersport Academy, the Powersport Academy is a WordPress product as well. So Mañana No Mas is based on WordPress. Powersport Academy is based on WordPress. This is more of a business-oriented site that sells courses. And so you can see it's got a pretty dynamic front page, right? It's got a couple of places to interact or to expand different areas. And it's got a way to collect people's information and give them access to a free lesson. It's got a place for testimonials. It's got a place to join the newsletter, join the community. So it adds people to my mailing list. And then I've connected Telegram. Telegram is like texting. It's like text messaging, but it's kind of like WhatsApp, but it's I really like it. How do I say that, right? I really like it. So I use Telegram for some of my marketing. And I gave people the ability to connect to the Telegram right through the home page. And then you can see down at the bottom, I'm going to have home, my account, memberships, courses, and contact. So if somebody is interested in what the membership examples look like in my site, we can go ahead and click memberships, and it'll roll over and show us what the member page looks like and gives people the options to sign in for different levels of membership. Does it make sense? I hope that it does. So, when you decide that you want to use WordPress, it can seem a little overwhelming. And so today's session is really focused on the simplicity of using WordPress. And to make things even more simple, I went ahead earlier today before we started, and I'm going to open this up. Here we go. Pause that. And I'm going to go ahead and close this screen. I'm going to close that. Bear with me. So what I want to do next is I'm going to share a video with you. Let's make sure that's still there. Okay, good. And I'm going to move this video over to, I thought I was going to move this video. Bear with me. I'll get there. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now I got that video moved over to another screen so I can get to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a quick screen share with you and share this video that I made earlier today. This lasts, 9 minutes. So this gives you an idea on how easy and how cheap, as in free, it is to start getting experience working within the WordPress environment. This kind of becomes your assignment for this week's challenge. I want you to go ahead and do what you see in this video and set yourselves up so that next week we can start talking about what it's like to parse out content or what it's like to use different features inside of WordPress. But I wanted to give you an idea of how to get in and make that happen. So let's go to share screen. We are going to go find that video. There we go. And I'm going to share the sound and optimize for video clip. Okay, so here we go, folks. You should be seeing this, and we'll get this playing for you. Hey, folks, let's just jump right to it because I'm pretty sure I'm going to embed this video into a presentation later as far as building a WordPress site. And one of the things that I wanted to show you right away was a tool that you can use to try out WordPress without having to make any investment in hosting or anything like that. So what I'm going to advise you guys to do is go into wordpress.com, not wordpress.org, but wordpress.com. We're going to click enter there. And what you see is going to happen is we're going to pull up, welcome to the world's most popular website builder. Okay. Now we get to click start your website, or we could click get started in the upper right. I'm going to click start your website. Okay. So it opens right up. Now it's going to say, you know, what email address do you want to use? Well, I've got a fair amount of emails in there. So let's go with the Vaxpreneur email address. Okay. grow@vaxpreneur.com. And for the username, I'm going to say Vaxpreneur. And for a password, we'll take a password that works. Here we go. And it's got to be, you know, a certain level. So you want to have numbers, you want to have exclamation points, periods, things like that. And so let's create this account and then choose a domain. Enter your site's name or some distinctive keywords to get started. And so I think I'm just going to use Vaxpreneur as my sample. So Vaxpreneur, choose a domain, right? So recommended Vaxpreneur blog, right? It says it's free, or there's all these options, right? So Vaxpreneur.com, because I already own Vaxpreneur.com. So it's going to say I can hyphenate it, right? I can select that. I can do Vaxpreneur.blog because nobody has that. It'll take that. Or we could just go with the free one. This is what I'm trying to show you, folks. You can try this out for free. We're going to select that and pay monthly, pay annually, or start with a free site. So you got to look at the details, right? You have a pricing calendar here, but above the pricing calendar, it says start with a free site. I just want you guys to see how things work, and I don't want you to have to spend money to figure out how it works. So let's click start with a free site. Now what's going to happen is WordPress is going to build WordPress in their own environment. Okay. So it says, where will you start? It says you can change your mind at any time. Do I want to write or build? Share your ideas with the world, or do I want to create a website? Let's start building. Now it's going to give me the option to pick the overall look and feel of what it's going to be. So they give me some themes that I can pick from. Now, here's an interesting thing about themes. In the WordPress space, themes, they look pretty in the menu, but then when you deploy them, they look blank. And you're like, well, that's not what I wanted. The theme is really showing you, like, does it have a big header picture? What kind of fonts is it using? What kind of color is it using for fonts or for backgrounds or things like that? And so as we start to go through this, we can see the layouts here, right? So this has the big hero picture at the top. This one does not, okay? This one is super plain. This one is laid out vertically. This one has the big picture with a share menu at the top for social. And so you got to start thinking about, like, okay, so what's my user experience going to be? What am I looking to do? This one is a big picture with centered content. This one is a big picture with columned content. And so you see where I'm going with this. You don't pick something because you go, that's a cool picture, because you're going to put your own graphics and your own content in the site. But what you want to see is the representation that you're looking for. Like this one's a whole portfolio page. If I was a photographer, an artist, this might be something that I would pick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump up here and I'm going to pick the one that says, hey, no, I'll pick this one. Nah, I don't like that one either. I'll pick this one. Here we go. Start with Rockfield. Okay. So it says it's laying the foundations, and what it's doing is it's taking the layouts, the colors, the fonts, and it's taking some sample material and it's building it into a WordPress site inside WordPress. So this is kind of fun. Now, when this is all done, we could go to vaxpreneur.wordpress.com and we'll see the website that's made. Okay. Now, what just popped up is the back dashboard. So the back dashboard pops up. We can see right here, vaxpreneur.wordpress.com. That's the website we just made. Like, congratulations, you just made a website, right? And then we have pages. And so here it says, give your site a name. Look at all this, right? So name your site. Give your site a name. Here we go. We'll call it Vaxpreneur Challenge. Okay. And we'll say, is WordPress right for you? That's the tagline. Okay. And we'll say continue. Okay. Every time you make a change, it needs to be saved. So let's save the settings. Good job. It looks great. Return to home. Okay. Are you seeing what's happening there? It's actually training you how to use the WordPress system. And so if we look at this checklist for site setup on the right-hand side, it's going to say update your homepage, confirm your email address, customize your site menu, try the WordPress app, launch your site to the world. Because right now it's just kind of hanging in the ether, right? Getting developed. And then when you're ready, boom, you hit publish and it makes it public, and then everybody can see it. Folks, I'll talk about more of this in the actual course, but I just wanted to make this kind of like intro video to show you how we're going to get started using some free tools. And when we take a look at some of the other things, I mean, we still have the option to install plugins. We still have a lot that we can do in here in this free sampling of what WordPress can do. And this is what I wanted to get people excited about. And that's why it's part of this challenge, is to say, look, you don't have to buy hosting and software and make this giant investment, do or die kind of thing right now. What I want you to do is I want you to experience what we're actually going to do. Okay. So for free, go in here, reserve yourself a test URL. You can call it, Emma Sue's bakery.wordpress.com. It doesn't matter what you pick, because for the purpose of the challenge, we just want to get you doing something and getting, I want to be able to do something in the challenge session and then transport that to like working on physically doing it. And so in these week-long breaks that we're taking between sessions, you'll have a place to go practice and to go try things and go, oh, now I got it. Now, here's my goal. By the end of this, by December 27th, you'll be able to push the button and go live with your site. You'll also be in a much better position to say, hey, I can do a lot of this on my own and get this thing started, or I can do this much on my own and bring in a developer to add some of these automations Kurt was talking about. But the goal is that this will absolutely help you build confidence. And so that whether you do it yourself or you hire a developer, you'll have enough presence of mind to go, well, that sounds right, or that doesn't sound right. Like when you're listening to the news and something comes up and you go, well, that doesn't sound right. Where does that gift of discernment come from? Where does that confidence come from to go, well, that doesn't sound right? Logically, that doesn't align. That doesn't make sense. It's because of experience. And so part of this 5-day challenge spread over 5 weeks is to instill in you that confidence that'll give you that gift of discernment, so that when you take your message or you take your product online, when you consult with other people and they say, well, you need to do X, Y, and Z, you can go, that doesn't sound right. Or you could say, that's exactly what I want. How much would that cost? But having the confidence to be able to make that decision is what this challenge is about, and getting you a good head start. Folks, I'll see you in the session. Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right. Well, folks, that was that. It's pretty awesome to be able to get that done ahead of time and make that happen. There we go. Got a dog getting dropped off. But you can see what the excitement is there, because I feel like I'm sharing something with you that other people are holding to their chest. I work a lot with a lot of people online, And a lot of people are like, well, I can do this and I can do that, and it's like, let's just start sharing with people how simple it is to get started. And then if you want to become a specialist down the road, let's say you fall in love with this and you go, man, I really want to focus on memberships. I really want to focus on online learning. I really want to focus on curriculum development. I really want to focus on API automations. And I'm using terms that you might be going, I don't know what he's talking about. Don't worry about it. Just get started. These tools are going to enable you to build a representation of your idea, your organization, your company. And in a lot of cases, it's enough to get started and be enough for a long time to come. So stick with me over these next 3 sessions, okay? So last week we talked about what is WordPress and why is it different, and why might it be the answer for you. This week, I'm giving you access to find a way to use WordPress for free, just to get in there. Now, if we do, let me close this window over here, and I will open back up into the other one that we have. I apologize, but dogs have woken up. You'll see the back end of the site that we had already created, the Vaxpreneur Challenge. In the Vaxpreneur Challenge, the next thing is to update the homepage. So we can click here and we can start to build out and make a homepage. It's still thinking. So there it goes, right? And this tells us, welcome to WordPress, right? Take this short interactive tour to learn the fundamentals of the WordPress editor. Try it out. And then it's going to run you right through it, right? Everything is a block, right? Gutenberg Editor. So the native editor in WordPress is called Gutenberg. It's been out for a few years and it was real clunky at first. And like people that love Elementor and Beaver Builder and Divi, these are all page builder type tools, fell in love with those types of tools because it was easier and more design friendly than the Gutenberg editor. But now Gutenberg's getting better and better and better. And so it's kind of cool to take a look at. Everything is blocks. So if I want to add to a page, I just pick a new block to add, right? Adding a new block. Look at that. It's almost like I wrote the script, right? Adding a new block. Click a block to change it. So when you click on a block, you can edit just that section of the page, which is kind of cool. And then it says, there's more options. You can undo any mistake. You can undo and you can redo. Drag and drop. You can slide things around on your page and move things around. And it says you've learned the basics. So I guess you don't need me anymore. But this gives us an idea of what that homepage is going to look like. So this one has static images in the background. And as it scrolls, it goes to the next background image that stays static. And you can change all of these out, which is really, really, really cool. And so you want to start playing. So when I click on something, as I clicked on this picture, and then I go over here, it's a fixed background or it's a repeated background. Well, we have it as fixed, right? And then do I want to change, do I want to change that picture? I can change the picture. I can replace the picture. See, I got replace right here. I can replace the picture. I can change the wording that's in there, right? So I can change the heading. See over here on the side, the block changed and now it tells me it's a heading, and I can change that heading, or I can change the color of the heading. The options in here are, I'm not going to say limitless, but it's really cool to know that you can jump in and you can just kind of like what you see is what you get almost as an editor. And you can drag things around and make it what you want it to be. And then whenever you make any changes, you want to make sure that you click update at the top. And if you want to see what it's going to look like, you hit preview and it'll open it up in a new tab for you. So whatever changes you made, it'll show up inside. And so maybe I would like to make the, discover our menu. Maybe I want to make that bright red so it really pops, or make it green so people want to spend money. Like right here, see, that's a black heading on a dark picture. So that doesn't look so good, right? Like right there, you can't even see it. And so when I come down, I see K your table, and then I see book your table down here, but it's never really all that clear. So I could go in and I could change that color if I wanted, or I could move it. Like maybe I think it would do better if book your table was left justified and it came up over the sofa, right? I could do that too. So folks, here's what your assignment is for the week. Your assignment for the week is to go to WordPress.com, right? WordPress.com, get started, make yourselves, now this is called a subdomain, by the way. So the domain is WordPress.com and the subdomain is Vaxpreneur, right? So Vaxpreneur.wordpress.com is the whole site that we made. You make a site for you, okay? And We're going to talk in the next few sessions about how to divide content up or make things more accessible for your end user, or how to limit what you put on the site, as opposed to, sometimes people put way too much information in a website, it never gets read. Other times people put like not enough information on a website, and again, it never gets read, right? So over the next few sessions, we're going to talk about the content, how to break up the content, how to display the content, and then some extra tools to get you ready to launch. So you launching your own website in WordPress.com might not have been your goal, okay? But this is going to be our working environment so that you can get used to WordPress. So I hope I'm being super clear on this. Over the next few sessions, we will also cover how to register your own URL. So you're not working in WordPress.com, but you'll be working in whatever, like abc.com, whatever your ABC is, right? And so I'll show you guys how to register a URL, where to register a URL, what tools I use to do this so that I get better access to unlimited emails and things like that. And so I'll show you the tools that I use. I'll give you links to everything. And I'll also give you all access to all of the links and vendors to like my tech stack. Okay. So when I make a website that is capable of e-commerce, that is capable of membership management, that is capable of hosting an online course, and is well designed. And I'll show you a quick and dirty list of those tools so that if you choose to pursue this, you could register your own URL, get your own hosting, and build your own project and be proud of it, and do it fairly simply. All right, that's it for today's challenge. I'm thrilled that you made it here. We've already knocked out session 1. This is session 2. We got 3 sessions left. And by December 27th, we will be popping our site live. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Oh, got to stop the share. And now we can go ahead and end. Have a good one.